Welcome to the Friday Morning Live voiceover Q&A. How are you doing? I'm Bill DeWeese, professional voiceover talent and voiceover coach. And every morning, about this time, give or take, we get together to talk voiceover, share a thought, a tip, a strategy, a motivational thought, just something to move you forward toward greater profitability, i.e. success in your voiceover career. So on Fridays, we get together for a little Q&A. Hope you've had a great week. I hope things are going well. I hope you're excited about today. I hope you're excited about the weekend. I am. As a matter of fact, in preparation, I'm wearing this shirt for the second time this week because I grew up just outside of Columbus, Ohio. So we are, from a very early age, we're indoctrinated into all things Buckeyes. And so I've been a rabid Buckeyes fan from my earliest memories, and that stayed with me my entire life. And so, when Friday rolls around, my family and I, we're thinking Ohio State football. So I'm ready. I am ready to rock and roll for tomorrow. Hey guys, thanks for checking in on the chat here on the live stream as we do every morning. I would love to have you share your name, where you're watching or listening from this morning and if you have a question or a comment, that's what this morning is about. I have no agenda other than taking some of your questions this morning. That's what this Q&A is all about. So let's check in and see what's happening. Janet, I hope you're staying strong in Florida, and I hope things are going okay, because I know the weather's starting to get a little dicey down that direction. Michelle in Indy, good morning. Indianapolis. Philip in Tokyo, regarding the voiceover blueprint, you mentioned about being able to watch you work. How long is the stream? What time of the day do you usually stream? Philip, what I do, there's not a specific time to it. I just stream as I work. So I essentially get into my studio about 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, and then I spend a few minutes with you guys, and then I get to work. And so I'm in the studio. It just depends on how much work there is that day. It could be until 2 o'clock, until 5 o'clock. I don't stream nonstop because I'm not in my studio that entire time. But as I'm doing, so what would happen, let's say, for instance, after I stream this morning, I've got a couple of jobs. I think one's an explainer video, and I don't know what the others are offhand. I'll have to take a look. They came in later yesterday. But as I start working on those, I'll turn the camera back on. I'll turn the live stream on into the Facebook group. As long as if the project's under non-disclosure, I can't share that. But as long as it's not, if I'm auditioning, I'll flip on the camera so I'll do the audition, and I'll edit it. You can see me do that. You can see me do my work. Recording my projects and editing those. And I usually, share a thought or two as I do that, but I work in real time. So I hope that answers the question. That's what it is. So it's not like a specific time. It's like as I do the work. So whether that, maybe I may be streaming for a little bit at 9 this morning, and then for a while at 11, or maybe I'll have an audition at noon. And then, sometimes, maybe it's once, just, on a slow day. And since COVID, things have slowed down a bit, but they're starting to pick up again, just like with all business. And pre-COVID, I was doing upwards of 8 to 10 jobs a day. So I was streaming a lot. So anyhow, that's what's going on with that. And by the way, since you brought it up, Philip, I want y'all in the VoiceOver Blueprint program. I want to see you successful in voiceover. And if you want to learn more about it, simply go to the description below this video. The first link will take you. There's a long, in-depth description of everything that's involved. It is simply the most comprehensive learning, training, mentoring experience available for voiceover. And I want you in there. And I know a lot of you guys already are, but if you're not, check it out. Let's see here. Where are we? Steve, good morning. In Bucyrus, Ed in the rainy Lake of the Ozarks. Yes. Rusty, what's up in the UP of Michigan? These mornings are so motivational, Rusty says. Well, thank you, Rusty. I appreciate that. I'm motivated to get to hang out with you guys. In all honesty, voiceover is it's an isolated job. It was hard. Maybe this is a topic for another day. But I will say this, it was hard for me to make the transition from working with a team of people, in a more traditional work environment, to working in voiceover where I sit in a 3.5 foot wide by 5 foot long booth all day. I mean, I sit in a padded room all day and talk by myself and have very little interaction with the outside world. So I really enjoy this time to get to, even though I don't see you face to face, just your comments, and I recognize your names and where you're from. So it's kind of like we have this, growing family together in the morning, and I like it and I appreciate it. David in Louisville, what's up? John in the Philippines, good to have you on the live stream this morning. Hey, MA, how are you doing? Oh, Sandra's asking, when does my new book come out? My new book, by the way, yes, in case I don't talk about it much, but I wrote a book, I think it's in 2014, and it's on Amazon. Just search my name on Amazon and the book will pop up. My new book is slated to be out the plan is to have it out by Thanksgiving. I'm not sure. It should be out by Christmas for sure, but we're just wrapping up final details on it. But this will be my second book. So yeah, I'm excited about it. More details as I know more. We're getting there though. And again, Sandra, thanks for asking. Hey, Barb in Ann Arbor, how are you? Russ in Cleveland, OHIO. In New York City. Yeah, good morning to you. Grosner from Sevier County, Tennessee, the home of Dolly Parton and the home of Dollywood, which I haven't been to for a long time. The Smoky Mountains are just one of my favorite places in the world. My mom grew up in Knoxville, Eastern Tennessee, so I spent quite a bit of time in that area as a kid, and I love the mountains. They're gorgeous. Sandra, Dallas-Fort Worth, in the VO Blueprint, do you go over what kind of rates you should use for different projects? Yeah, and Sandra, here's the thing. I don't advocate a hard line on rates. I'm a big advocate of negotiating your rates, but for the people in my program, I share my rate card so they can, they see what I'm charging and can use that because everybody needs a rate card just for negotiation purposes. So I share that with everyone. And so, it's just not that you're required to charge those rates. You could charge less, you could charge more. I mean, it's your business. But yet that is, rates is something that is discussed. And a great part of the blueprint is that it's dynamic. It's not static. In other words, I mean, there is static material in that there's recorded on demand, but we also do almost every day. There's almost always a live group coaching over webinar on a particular topic, or sometimes it's just Q&A. So there's lots of opportunities to talk about really anything that you want to talk about. Miss Johnny in Houston, good morning. Hey, Todd, the mic I'm on this morning, this is the Neumann TLM 103. I've owned a Neumann TLM 103 since, 2007, 2008. I've got two of them. I've got a backup of this one. I believe in redundancy. Once you become once voiceover is your business, you got to make sure that there is no downtime. But I love this microphone. Ed in Southern California, desert, palm, or in the California desert, Palm Desert. Yes, good. Sorry, Ed. Good to have you on this morning. Still early. I'm still getting the wheels going here. Hey, John. Getting ready for the temps to drop in Fort Wayne. What advice do I have for setting a rate for per finished hour for audiobook work? Well, John, this kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier in terms of negotiating rates. I wouldn't go in with a hard line idea. It's because the rates are all over the place, and a lot of it depends. A lot of, every book that's turned into an audiobook is not a published work necessarily. I mean, a lot of them are self-published. They're published, but self-published. And typically the audiences are smaller, and so the profits are not going to be as great, meaning that the budgets for voiceover talent are not that great. What I see, this is a broad range, anywhere from $100 to $400 per finished minute. The $100 to $200 per finished minute are probably more for the self-published, people who will not be selling as many books. When you're getting into to published books with wide distribution, the rate's going to go up a little bit more. But I would not go in with a hard rate. I would negotiate that and ask what their budget is as a opening question. Hey, Dory, happy weekend to you. Oh, good morning, Matt in Youngstown, Ohio. Would I suggest renting studio time to do voiceover? No, I would not. For a couple reasons. Number one, it's not going to be cost efficient because it's not very expensive to buy equipment and set up your own recording space. Secondly, to be successful in voiceover means you need to be pretty responsive. A lot of my clients, they use me because I can get stuff back to them same day or at least by next day at the latest. And if you're renting studio space and once your business starts to grow, it could become a nightmare for you logistically. So I don't recommend it. That's my 2 cents worth on that. JR, Austin, Texas, happy Friday and a good Veterans Day to you as well, Tim in Altoona. And for those of you who have faithfully served our country, thank you for your service. Appreciate you. My dad served, I was not in the military. My dad was an MP in the Army in Korea. It was after the Korean conflict, but that's where he served. And my father passed like back in the 1986, a long time ago. But I remember as a kid seeing, he would have pictures, and one of his greatest memories was he said the little kids would follow him around, and they would love candy and gum, and so he would try to always have plenty of candy and gum to pass out to the kids. Oh, let's see here. Chandler, how many hours of audio do you think is reasonable to record in a day? I find for me, I struggle anything past 3 hours. Chandler, 3 hours is a lot of audio. I would say, unless you're like an audiobook machine, and by that I mean somebody who records a lot of audiobooks consistently, because there's a physicality to voiceover, and you have to build up those muscles and that endurance. I don't record 3 hours. I'm in my studio for that time or longer, but in terms of finished product, it's rare that I would produce that much in a day. I think if you can do 3 hours of finished audio in a day, that's really good. I know there are people who do more, but that's a lot. Let's see here. Hello from New Hampshire on the last day of your day job. All right. Well, congratulations. Congratulations. I'm asking that as a question. Hopefully it's a congratulations. And maybe you're moving on to making voiceover a bigger part of your life. I hope so. I hope that's the case. Chandler says Bill should put that on his business. I sit in a padded room all day and talk to myself. I know, right? Hey, Stephen Oshkosh, how are you doing? From Oshkosh via Dallas. All right. Good deal. Hey, Nancy in Maine, you're welcome. Good morning. Steve. Is there any one-on-one coaching in the Blueprint program? Yes, but within a group context. So I don't do one-on-one sessions as part of the Blueprint. I've got members of my Blueprint who sometimes will hire me to do one-on-one. It's not required. Sometimes, like I had a gentleman yesterday who just wanted to get like a diagnostic checkup. He wanted to make sure his audio was sounding great. He wanted me to hear some of his recent auditions and give him some very specific feedback, which I did. But within the Blueprint, like every week, I do, well, first of all, there's a performance coaching webinar every Thursday evening. So you get a chance, you go into that webinar, and there's usually a small group of folks there, and everybody gets to read. I do a Wednesday, I do multiple webinars, but one of them I do on Wednesday. I allow time at the end for anybody who wants to read, but it's within a group, context. Mike, good morning to you in Minnesota. Tim, go Buckeyes. Yes, I love it. Some Buckeye love here. Of course, we're looking forward to the national championship, to winning that, no doubt. But before that, and what gives us as much, if not greater satisfaction, is the opportunity to beat the University of Michigan Wolverines. It's always, the last game of the season. The be the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Look, and no disrespect to my friends, and some of my best friends are from Michigan. Love you all, but it's going to be painful that day for you. I'm just telling you. I'm warning you right now. Bob in Reidsville, North Carolina, what's up? Happy Friday from New York. To you, Ryan, hello, good morning. In Oklahoma City, that's Tim. Edward is struggling with noise floor in his studio. The lowest I've been able to get, it's about 50 dB. I have the iZotope RX software to clean it up, but I wonder if I need to be looking elsewhere. Edward, I tell you, if you can get your room to minus 50 dB, that's pretty darn quiet. What we're looking for is minus 60, so you're within 10 dB of that. So here's the order in which you do it. You always do everything you can physically in the space to make it as quiet as possible. So if you've done everything you can in terms of sound isolation, sound treatment, and it's at minus 50 dB, that's not a bad place to be. If that's me, I can work with that, because the extra 10, 15 dB that you take out can be done with a plug-in like an NS1 by Waves, or you said you have RX. I'm sure that's more than capable of doing that. So I think you're in good shape. And so I always tell folks, if you can get to minus 50 dB just physically with what you do with the room, then the other 10 is pretty easy with software. But don't start with software. That's your last line of defense. Hey, Tim, good morning. Tanya. Yeah, she's giving a salute to our vets from South Philly. And let's see here. You Can Jam says, happy birthday to me. Yes, happy birthday to you. Hope it's a good one in Fort Worth, Texas. Alan in Pittsburgh, how are you doing? Another member of the Blueprint. James, greetings from South Africa. Well, greetings to you, James. Good to have you on the live stream today. You're welcome, Chandler. Hey, Bob, can you recommend a standard template that will help you write copy in specified blocks of time? I don't use a template for that, and I am a copywriter by trade, a commercial copywriter. So here's what I go by: word count. So this is approximate depending on how fast you read the script, but 160 seconds for a 60-second, 160 words for a 60-second, 80 words for a 30-second. Again, give or take. Hey, Rob down in Pensacola, I hope your air show's going well. Hello, Kim. How are you doing this morning? James in South Africa has been narrating audiobooks for a few years. Have found your videos incredibly helpful. Thank you, James. This is the first time catching the live stream. I got to get that bell in the studio I've been talking about to ring them. We've got a new viewer/listener. Love it. Thank you, James. And Rob says, yes, we remember Veterans Day. Absolutely. Well, guys, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Go Bucks. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.